Tonight on DC News Now, doctors on the verge of a strike.
Mainly what we're looking for is a way to take care of ourselves so that we can take better care of our patients.
Physicians at GW University have voted to walk off the job. The far-reaching impacts when this happens.
Hey everyone, going into your midweek, still tracking that frigid cold, and I have snow. It's back in the forecast. I'll show you when, coming up.
A delay in a hearing for a Northern Virginia man now faced with new murder charges, accused in the death of his wife. How the Manassas Park mom's family and friends are responding. An unusual request to approve DC's takeover of the RFK Stadium site. The new report on what Maryland leaders want in return for their support.
2, 1, there you go. Hey!
'Tis the season. The Capitol Christmas tree is all aglow. More on the holiday festivities across the district.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now at 9. I'm Susan Tran. Chris Flanagan has a night off. Concern in the DMV tonight as hundreds of George Washington University doctors could soon go on strike. They are demanding better pay and mental health benefits. In fact, 98% of the union voted to walk off the job, and the impacts on area hospitals could be far-reaching. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg is live for us at George Washington University Hospital. And Daniel, tell us more about these lengthy negotiations they've been having.
Well, Susan, it's been about 15 months. Resident physicians and fellows say that the university is not bargaining in good faith. The university says they are and says they have made significant progress since October 2023.
What do we want?
A fair contract.
When do we want it?
Now.
98% of nearly 500 George Washington University doctors voted to authorize a strike after months of negotiations.
We have been pushed to our breaking points.
Emergency medicine doctor Neha Gupta says negotiations have stalled.
It does feel like we are going in circles, and we constantly keep bringing things to the table, that basic things that we need, like adequate pay, mental health coverage.
Gupta says some residents make $15 an hour.
$15 an hour is not enough when we are trained physicians who are making life and death decisions and working 80-hour work weeks and coming home and dealing with a lot of the deaths that we see every single day.
Doctors say they're dealing with rampant burnout and a crisis of resident physician suicide.
We deserve a fair contract and a living wage, but at the end of it, it's not about us, it's about our patients. If we can take better care of ourselves, we can take better care of our patients.
A university spokesperson says the union and university have already reached tentative agreement on approximately 24 contract provisions since the fall of 2023. Going on to say the university understands and acknowledges the importance of the remaining unresolved issues, including benefits, compensation, and access to mental health services. Now, union members tell me that if they are not satisfied with the way negotiations are going, a strike could happen within the next 2 weeks. We're live in Northwest. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Daniel, developing now in Northern Virginia. Express lanes are now open on 495 in Tysons. There was a tractor trailer that crashed earlier that completely stopped all traffic on the northbound lane earlier tonight. This is a live look from our traffic camera in that area, and you can see that general lanes are still closed and backups are happening in that stretch. This is a live look as we continue to watch as cars just try to smoothly and slowly roll along. And it all happened under the Leesburg Pike eastbound earlier. Take a look at these images as firefighters say the flames, they were contained to the front section of this truck, the cab area here. The fire under control, no one was hurt, and right now, as we are describing, the fast lanes have the general lanes have reopened. Let's get a check on the forecast. DC News Now's Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb is with us. All right, it is cold. I mean, the type of cold I wasn't anticipating for the third day of December.
Yeah, right. It feels like we're in January, end of January, going into February. It's pretty out there, though, right? The clearing, the clear skies, gotta love that. But that clearing has no insulation. We need some cloud coverage, and that cloud coverage comes in tomorrow night. The wind chills are a big issue right now. Winds picking up 10 to about 15 miles per hour across D.C., out towards Baltimore County and Anne Arundel County. The farther west you go, starting to subside, but it's causing wind chills to look like this. 26 for D.C., feels like about 28. The farther you're going to southern Maryland and then western Maryland into the lower 20s. And so we'll start to kind of get into the thick of the overnight and temperatures tumble even more. But here's the bigger story. It's our next storm system that's going to provide us with some snow that has allowed a winter weather storm watch to go into place for parts of Garrett County, where significant snow is about to impact that region again. So tonight it is a chilly one. Not big changes for tomorrow, but we do have that approaching cold front. I'll show you when that moves in coming up. Susan? All
right, Janessa, new details tonight. More answers in the shooting death of a Maryland activist, Cornelius McDonald, who you see here. Police say they have arrested Terrell Bailey, who is now charged with murder. The shooting was Saturday morning outside of a restaurant in Largo. Prince George's County police say that the suspect, Bailey and McDonald, they were customers at that restaurant. They did not know each other and got into an argument. Police say the fight escalated, and that's when they say Bailey shot and killed McDonald. New tonight in Northern Virginia, an Arlington teenager is charged with bringing a loaded gun to school. Police say a school resource officer at Arlington Community High School found the gun in the 17-year-old's backpack on Monday. They say it was loaded and had this extended magazine that you can see. It's the top here of that image. They say that they found marijuana as well in his bag. The student is now being charged for having a loaded gun on school property and being held at a juvenile detention center. Developing now in Virginia, the husband of a missing Manassas Park mom will now face a judge tomorrow. Naresh Bhatt's hearing, it was supposed to happen this morning on those new murder charges, but it was pushed back because there was no translator available. Up until now, he was only facing a charge of concealing a body. But a grand jury had indicted Bhatt for murder yesterday. The police chief says that new DNA evidence shows the blood found in their home belonged to Mamta Kafli Bhatt. DC News Now's Randy Bass has been following these developments and has reaction from Mamta's family and supporters.
Mamta supporters showed up at the courthouse today hoping to see Naresh Bhatt face a judge, but without an interpreter present, Naresh did not appear for court today, and that hearing was pushed back until tomorrow. Many of her supporters are still processing the very raw emotions they've been feeling over the last 24 hours. Mamta supporters and family members finding out about Naresh Bhatt's indictment on a murder charge on social media after online court records updated yesterday.
It really was a gut punch because we didn't know that it was coming.
When I saw that, I dropped my coffee. I was just shocked. I was in pure shock.
Last night, Manassas Park Police Chief Mario Lugo making the formal announcement, adding that DNA from large amounts of blood found in the Bhatt home returned as a match to Mamta, and evidence points to her being cut up in the home. Those details are hard to process for some of Mamta's supporters.
The nightmare she endured, the fact that the mitochondrial DNA matched, the fact that you could see him, it's the unimaginable.
The elevated charges mean the court's clock restarts. Naresh Bhatt had been set to go to trial on those initial concealment of a body charges next week, but with the addition of an elevated charge of first-degree murder, it could be a much longer road before he stands trial. Mamta supporters say they're willing to wait.
There are families that never get justice. There's families that have victims, people in their family that were murdered that never get answers. And there is solace to know that we are getting answers, we are getting justice, and it is going to take time.
Now, the chief public defender for Prince William County was in court today representing Naresh Bhatt. She says she believes the court will have an interpreter lined up for him by tomorrow. That court appearance was rescheduled for 9 a.m. In Prince William County, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, let's go to some new details tonight where Maryland leaders are offering a proposal to support giving D.C. control of the federally owned RFK Stadium. According to the Washington Post, they want the district's Air National Guard Squadron in return. Maryland is set to be the only state without a National Guard flying mission next year. The Air Force plans to convert the state's existing squadron. Now, D.C.'s delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton telling the Post that she finds the proposal troubling. Maryland leaders also want to hear from the commanders on what their preference is on a location and what the team plans to do with Northwest Stadium if they move. And developing in sports now, let's talk more about the Commanders. They have a new team president. The franchise has hired Mark Klaus. Klaus comes from a different management scene. Since 2019, he has served as the CEO of Campbell's Company that oversees brands like Goldfish Soup and Pepperidge Farm. He also spent 20 years at Kraft Foods, as well as being an Army veteran. Owner Josh Harris releasing a statement saying, Mark shares our commitment in using the power of the Commanders franchise to bring people together. I am confident in Mark's dedication that is, to building a championship caliber organization and to support football operations in our drive for excellence on the field. New tonight, let's take a look at the Capitol Christmas tree. The 80-foot spruce will now be aglow every night until the first of the new year. The tree had quite a journey coming from Alaska, arriving to D.C., and then tonight's tree lighting ceremony. D.C. News Now's Max Marcilla was there for the event. And Max, what did those lucky people who saw this all live, what are they saying about this really special treat?
Well, they're saying it really now feels like Christmas, not just because, you know, there's an 80-foot tree behind me, but because of these temperatures. I mean, come on, hands in the pockets, right? Look, this is an exciting day, and the people here were just really excited to continue a tradition that has been a part of our nation's capital now for decades.
2, 1, there you go.
In front of the iconic dome of the U.S. Capitol.
It was really beautiful.
A very large reminder that Christmas is getting closer.
After Thanksgiving, I'm kind of like, I feel like it's Christmas.
We're past the turkey and onto ornaments. This tree with more than 14,000 of them, each handmade by Alaskans.
And it was also nice hearing about the story how this was brought from Alaska.
That's right. This Sitka spruce traveled more than 4,000 miles from the last frontier, and this is one of the two truckers who drove it.
It's really a great honor. It really is.
That holiday haul matched by some of the visitors.
It's one of those things that we've always wanted to do, a bucket list.
Kate and Scott came from Australia for holidays in the States, as did Luke, who liked what he saw.
It's a lot different vibe, so I'm enjoying the different vibe.
The vibe here, festive.
I'm feeling really inspired and excited for the holiday season in the U.S. Capitol.
Family fun.
Really nice to be around the community.
And also freezing. How are you handling the cold?
I've got about 5 layers on.
Is it helping?
It is. Well, it is. But I'm looking forward to summer clothes when we get back to Australia.
Yeah, summer is just a few short months away here, but let's not rush things because this Christmas season is going to be a fun one. We have the White House Christmas tree lighting on Thursday as well. And Susan, one more fun fact out here. This is the 60th year of the Capitol Christmas tree lighting and the 8th time that we have a tree of at least 80 feet tall. So it's a good one. So make sure to come out here before it goes away on January 1st. Reporting live at the Capitol, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
What